Welcome to EEE Direct, the number one place to charge yourself with concepts and techniques of electrical and electronics engineering. In this video, we are going to discuss about these topics. So stay tuned to watch the video till the end. This is the first practice problem that we are going to see today. The charge entering one terminal of a conductor is given by Q is equal to 6t sin phi pi t coulomb. Now calculate the value of current in the conductor at t is equal to 0.4 seconds. So whenever you are asked for some problem, just try to write down the variables that are given. The given variables are Q is equal to 6t sin phi pi t and the time given is 0.4 seconds. So they have asked you to calculate the current. So by seeing the given variables and the asked variable, you should now remember the definition for the current. The definition of current says that the current is rate of flow of charges. So therefore, you should remember this formula. A is equal to dq by dt. So we are going to apply this formula to find out what is the value of current. I is equal to dq by dt. So the differentiating the given expression 6t sin phi pi t divided by dt. So this expression has two variable product of two functions of t. So now you have to remember the differentiation formula of duv by dt, which is nothing but v du divided by dt plus u dv divided by dt. So now we have to identify what is u and what is v. U is equal to 6t here and v is equal to sin phi pi t. So applying this to a problem. So we are keeping v sin phi pi t and d differentiation of 6t v du plus 6t into differentiation of sin phi pi by t. Differentiation of sin phi pi t, which gives 6 sin phi pi t plus 6t into phi pi into differentiation of sin phi pi t is cos phi pi t. I is equal to 6 sin phi pi t plus 30 pi t into cos phi pi t. This is the expression that we have got from differentiation. So now at t is equal to 0.4 seconds, we have to calculate the value of current. So applying t is equal to 0.4 in the expression, we get 6 sin phi pi into 0.4 plus 30 pi into 0.4 cos phi pi into 0.4. So now I is equal to 6 sin of 2 pi plus 12 pi cos of 2 pi. We know that cos 2 pi is equal to 1 and sin 2 pi is equal to 0. So applying this, we get I is equal to 12 pi, which is I is equal to 37.7 amps. So this is the value of current for the given charge flowing. This is the value of current when the given amount of charge is flowing for 0.4 seconds. This is the second problem that we are going to solve now. Find the power delivered to an element at t is equal to 3 milliseconds. If the current entering its positive terminal is I is equal to 5 cos 60 pi t amperes. And the voltage is, they have given two conditions of voltage. If voltage is equal to 3I, what is the power? And voltage is equal to 3 di by dt, what is the power? So there is an element. The current is entering the element at its positive terminal. So the voltage across it, for the voltage they have given two conditions. In each condition they are asking you to calculate the power. So now we have to remember the formula for power, that is P is equal to the product of voltage into current. So that is how we are going to calculate the power now. So first we will solve the first condition, that is V is equal to 3 into I. Which gives 3 into 5 cos 60 pi t amps. Right. So that will give the expression for the voltage as 15 cos 60 pi t. Now to calculate the power, P is equal to V into I, which will give 15 cos 60 pi t into 5 cos 60 pi t, which will give you 50 into 5 75 cos square 60 pi t. This is the expression for power at the first condition for voltage, and they have given the time as 3 milliseconds. Therefore at t is equal to 3 milliseconds, P is equal to 75 cos square of 60 pi into 3 into 10 to the power minus 3, which will give you 75 cos square 0.18 pi, which is 75 into 0.713. Therefore power is equal to 53.48 watts. This is the value of power that will be delivered to the element for the first case of voltage, that is voltage is equal to 3I. The second condition for the voltage is given as B is equal to V 3 di divided by dt, which is 3 into differentiation of 5 cos 60 pi t, which will give the expression for the voltage as 3 into minus 300 pi sin 60 pi t, because this differentiation of cos t is sin t minus, because the differentiation of cos t is minus sin t. Now we are going to calculate the power delivered to the element, which is equal to minus 900 pi sin 60 pi t into 5 cos 60 pi t, which will give you the power as minus 4500 pi sin 60 pi t into cos 60 pi t. Now at t is equal to 3 milliseconds, if you apply the value of time in the expression of power, we will get minus 4500 pi sine of 0.18 pi into cosine 0.18 pi. So if we solve this, we will get the answer of the power is minus 6.396 kilowatts. This is the value of power for the second condition of voltage that is delivered to the element. is it actually delivered to the element? This negative sign indicates that the power is supplied from the element. So this is the third problem that we are going to solve today. If 20 millijoules of energy is stored in a capacitor of 200 microfarad, calculate the amount of charge stored in the capacitor. Also find out the time required to store this amount of charge for a charging current of 0.4 amps. That is, if this much energy is stored in a capacitor, how much charge will be there in that capacitor? That is, we have to find out first. Then we have to calculate the time that will be required to store this amount of charge for a charging current of 0.4 amps. So now just we will write what are the given values. The energy is 20 millijoules. We will represent energy as W. Energy is equal to 20 millijoules. The value of capacitor is 200 microfarad. And the current value is given as 0.4 amps. So the energy in a capacitor is given by energy stored in a capacitor can be calculated by this formula, 1/2 CV square, right? Let this be the first equation. Also, we know that capacitor is nothing but charge per voltage. Let this be, capacitor is represented by the symbol C. Let this be the equation, second equation. So, rearranging the second equation, we get V is equal to Q by C. Let this be the third equation. So now, rewriting the first equation, W is equal to 1 by 2. Instead of C, we are going to apply Q by V into V square. Now this square and 1V will be cancelled. Now we will be having the equation as half Q into V. Let this be fourth equation. So now applying equation number 3 in 4. What we will get? W is equal to 1 by 2 Q into Q divided by C. So now W is equal to 1 by 2 Q square by C. This is the equation now we get for the expression. Now why we did that? Why we did this? Why we simplified the energy formula to this form is that we know only the energy and the capacitance value. We don't know the voltage applied across that capacitance. So we have to eliminate the variable voltage. So we derived at this formula. So now rearranging this, we will get Q square is equal to 2CW. We have to find out the charge, right? So I am getting an expression from here. Q is equal to root of 2C and W. So which will give you Q is equal to root of 2 into the capacitance value given is 200 microfarad. So 200 into 10 to the power minus 6, and the energy stored in the capacitor is given as 20 millijoules. Therefore 20 into 10 to the power minus 3. So by solving this, we will be getting 2.828 millicoulomb. This is the amount of charge that will be stored in that capacitor for the given energy. So now the next thing what they have asked us to calculate is the time required to store this amount of charge. So now what is the relation between the current, charge and time? This is the relation, that is the, by definition, rate of flow of charges is the current. So I is equal to Q by T. By rearranging this, we will get T is equal to Q divided by I. So now we are going to put the charge value as 2.828 into 10 to the power minus 3 divided by the current value is given as 0.4 amps. So by solving this, we will be getting the time as 7.07 milliseconds. So this is the time required to charge the capacitor of 200 microfarad to a value of 2.828 millicoulombs. So this is the fourth problem that we are going to solve now. We have to calculate the equivalent resistance across the terminals A and B for the given circuit. So now let us see how to calculate this. As you can see this, these three resistances are connected in series. Why series? The current that will enter at this terminal, is going to flow through all these three terminals and go to this way. So the current through all these three resistors will be same. Therefore, the three resistors are said to be in series connection. Therefore, we can add these three values of resistance and we can redraw the circuit as follows. So now if you see, these two resistors are connected in parallel. How we say this as parallel connection is that if current is going to enter this terminal, it is going to divide between. In this point, the total current is going to divide between this. Therefore, the total current entering at one terminal are not same. The current carried by these two resistors are not same. Therefore, they are said to be in parallel connection. So now we have added these three values of resistance and we have put this as 3 ohms. Now these two resistance are connected in parallel. How we are going to say this is connected in parallel? Because the current that is entering here in this node is going to divide between here. Therefore, the current carried by these two resistors are not going to be the same. Therefore, these two resistors are connected in parallel. So now, if we redraw this circuit, we will get the equivalent circuit as this. That is, the value of resistor here is 1 parallel of 3. That is 1 into 3 divided by 1 plus 3, which will give the value as 0.74. The value of resistance, equivalent resistance is 0.75 ohms now. Now, again, these three resistances are connected in series. So now again if we add this, we will get the equivalent circuit as 2.75. All the other values are 1 ohms, 1 ohm resistor, 1 ohm resistor, here also 1 ohm resistor, here 1 plus 0.75 plus 1, which is equal to 2.75 ohms. Now again these two resistors are going to be connected in parallel. So now forming again the equivalent circuit of this, we will get these two are 1 ohm resistance. This is the equivalent resistance that is combining 1 parallel with 2.75, that is 1 into 2.75 divided by 1 plus 2.75, which is equal to 2.75 by 3.75, which will give you 0.733 ohms. So now we are going to find all these three resistances are connected in series. Therefore, the equivalent resistance across RAB, which is B, equal to 1 plus 0.733 plus 1 ohms. So that is RAB is equal to 2.733 ohms. This is the equivalent value of the resistance across the terminals A and B. So now again we are going to solve a problem, the similar problem to the previous problem, that is to find the equivalent resistance across the terminals A and B. So now I am redrawing the circuit here. See, this 1 ohms is connected between the terminals A. The 1 ohm, the one end of the terminal is connected to terminal A and another end is connected to the terminal B, as you can see. So now this is terminal B, and if you see the 2 ohm circuit, if you see this 2 ohm circuit, this is also connected. One end of the 2 ohms is connected to the terminal B. So I am drawing a 2 ohm resistor here connected across B. This is 2 ohm resistor. The other end is which is connected to the point A. Therefore, the other end is connected to A. Now consider the 3 ohm resistor. This point is connected to A. So I am drawing a 3 ohm resistor. The other terminal of the point is connected to B. So now this is the circuit that they have given here. So I have redrawn this circuit. So now you have to find out the equivalent value of resistance across the terminals A and B. So for more than 2 resistors connected in that, to find out the equivalent value, you have this formula, that is 1 by R equivalent is equal to 1 by RA, 1 by 1 plus 1 by 2 plus 1 by 3, which will give you 1 by RAB is equal to 1 plus 0.5 plus 0.33. So 1 divided by RAB is equal to 1.833. So if you inverse this, you will get the equivalent value of resistance as 0.45 ohms. 0.545 ohms. So this is the 6th problem that we are going to solve today. We have to find out the delta equivalent of the given star network. So we have the formula for that, that is RAB is equal to RA RB plus RB RC plus RC RA divided by RC. So if you want to find out RBC, that is the resistor across these two terminals, that is RBC. These are the resistance that we are going to find. RAB, the delta equivalent of this. RCA. So RBC is the same denominator divided by RA. If you are going to find out RCA, then the same denominator divided by RB. So now first we will find out what is the value of denominator, that is RA RB plus RB RC plus RC RA. That is what we have to find out, that is RA 2 into 4 plus 4 into 6 plus 6 into 2, that is 8 plus 24 plus 12. So now we have the equivalent value as 44. So the numerator value is 44. Therefore RAB is equal to 44 divided by RC value is 6. So we will have RAB is equal to 7.33 ohms and RBC is equal to 44 divided by RA. RA is 2 ohms. Therefore we will get RBC is equal to 22 ohms and RCA is equal to 44 divided by 4 ohms. So we will get RCA is equal to 11 ohms. So this is the delta equivalent of the given star network. We have the terminals A, B and C. The resistance across RAB is equal to 7.33 ohms and RBC is equal to 22 ohms and RCA is equal to 11 ohms. So this is the equivalent delta network of the given star network. In our next video, we are going to see about the topics given here and much more. So remember to subscribe the channel and hit the notification bell. Please give a thumbs up to this video and share it with your friends, which will help me reach more audience. You can join our weekly newsletter subscription through the link given in the description below, where you will receive a free mock test every week and also a free PDF of short notes on the topics covered in that week. If you have any specific request or clarifications on EEE subjects, write to me on EEEdirect2020@gmail.com. Thank you and stay charged.